Welcome to Bike Social, welcome to a lovely Cadwell Park, but more importantly, welcome to BMW's S1000R, and more specifically, this is the M Sport package. Today what we have done is had a good road ride all around Lincolnshire. Now Cadwell Park is one of the best tracks in the UK, but what also makes it great is it's surrounded by fabulous roads, so it's been the perfect test of the new S1000R. Now the standard BMW S1000R starts at 12,055. Then you go to the next level, which has got the dynamic and the comfort package, which is 14,525. This is the M Sport, which is just over £17,000. Most people are probably going to go for the middle of the road, just over 14,500. Now the S1000R enters a mega competitive category. Last year at Bike Social we did a huge group test with all the Super Nakeds. Then we've just recently done the Aprilia Tuono. We've also recently done Triumph's 1200 RS, and now the BMW jumps into that category. It's a highly contested, really competitive, compact category. But what is interesting is that BMW haven't gone chasing horsepower. This could easily be a 200 brake horsepower bike, because it's based on the S1000RR, so it'd be easy 200 horsepower. But instead they've left it at 165 horsepower, which is really interesting, because they're key to point out that you don't need 200 horsepower on the road, especially on a naked bike that you can't hold onto. So instead of creating horsepower, they've tried to make the bike more usable in an urban environment, more usable in a touring environment, and give it a sporting edge. And to do that, they've drastically reduced the weight. So we're 7 kilograms less than the previous model if we use the base bike, and the M Sport is another 5 kilograms less. And we can go even more if we go with the carbon wheels. On the road, as you'd expect from BMW, the electronics are superb. The chassis, it feels lighter, it feels more agile. I always thought that the old bike felt quite bulky, quite physical, and this feels a lot lighter. We was told by BMW, it feels like a 600, but it goes like 1,000, which I've heard 1,000 times in over 20 years of doing this industry. But it does feel like that. It doesn't feel like 1,000. It feels much more compact, much lighter, much more agile, much more easier to use. And then when you drive it on, it's certainly got some kick. The rider modes and the huge dash all depends if you're used to BMW. Personally, I'm used to the navigation wheel, I'm used to how the dash operates. It's very similar to the GS, it's very similar to the RT, and I find it really intuitive, very simple and easy to use. The modes make a dramatic difference. When you're out on the roads around here in Lincolnshire, which are really bumpy, flick it into road mode, the suspension is more supple, takes the bumps easier, it feels plush. And then you flick it into the Dynamic or Dynamic Pro, and you can feel the suspension tighten up. It's kind of like a bit too much for the road. Most of the time I rode in the road mode. And then when you come to Cadwell Park, put it in Dynamic Pro, change the traction, do what you want. Personally, I rode on track on the standard road tyres, on the Pirelli Corsa Rossos with traction control on minimum and the anti-wheelie off, so I didn't get any interference over the mountain. There are people who are going to say 165 horsepower on paper isn't enough. And true, when you're talking to your mates down the pub and they've got a Ducati Street Fighter or an MV Brutale or KTM, even the Tuono and the Triumph, they've all got more power than this. But a little bit like the Tuono that I recently reviewed, this uses all its horsepower. You can use all the horsepower. And I've done a full tank of fuel in 2 sessions here at Cadwell Park. And if I'd have done that on some of the competition, I would be absolutely exhausted. And I haven't been. The S1000R is usable. You could ride this bike in road mode, in the middle group or the slow group of a relatively inexperienced rider. Equally, if you're coming down from a sports bike, you're still going to have enough power to have fun. All in all, to summarise, I personally like the looks. We've not really touched on that. I like the new trellis frame, I like the detailing, I like the high quality finish that BMW give you. Personally, I'd like a keyless fuel cap, but I'll let that go because we've got keyless ignition. But the strong point for me is not the power, it's the handling. It's the lightness, it's usability, it's flickability, and also the fact that it's easy to ride. As I said, I've rode this bike extensively this evening and I'm not shattered. I feel okay, I feel like I could carry on and do some more. Just a shame the sun's going down. What's going to be the big test for this bike is when we put it against the competition, which hopefully will get that test to you shortly. All in all, BMW have created a lighter, more versatile, user-friendly package. You don't need all that horsepower, especially even on track. I've had great fun and I think this is enough horsepower for 99% of riders. But what we need to do is put some more miles on this bike. So what BMW have done is kindly lent me it. So now I'm going to put the bike in the van and see what it's like in the real world. What's it going to be like in the wet? What's it going to be like for comfort? Can I get a pillion on there with a seat and some pegs? How long are the tyres going to last? And we'll update you throughout the year at Bike Social.